Wancho, a word that defines bravery, a word that echoes heritage, a word that describes the fearsome tribes of Arunachal Pradesh. The village of this community is situated on top of the hills in the district of Tarap. The society had a deep belief in animism and that all nature held the souls of the departed. Natural materials, hence, are used throughout the tribe following this belief. And every village is governed by a chief known as the Wangham. The people here follow a patriarchal society, and girls and boys live separately in dormitories called Pa until they reach adulthood. The people here survive off the land peacefully, but that was not always the case. The Wancho lived at a distance from where they practiced agriculture and believed it would protect them from the wandering evil spirits. Their village settlements are divided into 6 parts, each having its own use. For example, chawat are the traditional vegetable gardens within the homes used for personal consumption. Their houses were constructed using wooden logs as posts, bamboo framework, bamboo mats for walls and floors, and roofs were thatched with dry leaves of toko as they were found in abundance in the district of Tirap and are quite sturdy. One of the main rituals they practiced when moving to a new house was sacrificing animals to please the evil spirits. Their heads are often displayed at the entrances of their houses to keep the spirits away. The location and size of a dwelling unit in the Wancho village reflects the position of its inhabitants within their hierarchy. The house of the chief Wangsa and the council members are built with an inclined bamboo pattern made of solid bamboo and have carvings of tigers, the royal animal, to depict their status. The common people's houses, or wangpan, have only woven patterns made with split bamboo. The spatial hierarchy in the settlement reflects the social order of the community. The boys and girls live in separate dorms called pa, to separately teach them their roles in the Wancho society. The boys are trained to be men by their fathers, while the girls are taught to do household chores. The pa is basically a big hut, and the clan chief's house is usually used for girls. The members of the pa maintain order and peace in the society in matters where the chief's intervention is not deemed necessary. Organizing expeditions, cultivation, and fishing were some of the main activities practiced by the men of the Wancho tribe. Besides that, they were very good at wood carving and gun making. The decision to launch expeditions was always taken by the chief at a meeting of the Council of Elders in the Maro, where only men were allowed to enter. These expeditions were done in order to procure the macabre trophies, which were actually the human heads that they had gathered while headhunting from enemy villages. These macabre trophies were believed to increase the yield of their cultivation. On a successful expedition, they would add a golden head to the likwai necklaces, which were reserved for the warriors, to portray their bravery followed by respect. One of the main rules of the hierarchy while headhunting was not to kill the chief of the enemy village. If anybody did, they would have restrictions imposed on them. While fishing, the Wancho would trap fish in a section of the river current and speared or killed. Use of the wide blade dao swords was very important in such activities after shifting from its prior use of beheading. Since the practice of headhunting was banned, the community depends about 80% on agriculture for their livelihood, and therefore, cultivation became one of the main occupations of this tribe. Shifting cultivation or slash and burn cultivation, known as jum, was practiced by them. It is a method of cultivation in which forests are burnt and cleared for planting, as the soil loses its fertility after a while, and therefore the farmers move from one place to another in search of land. Some of the crops grown earlier were rice, millet, potatoes, tomatoes, tapioca, and hot peppers. However, opium was introduced to this tribe in the 1800s by the Britishers, after which cultivation of poppy for opium production started at a large scale locally. Wancho was a warrior tribe and was difficult to conquer. Therefore, introducing opium was a strategy to placate the fierce tribe. They soon became addicted to it as it gave them a sense of euphoria and ecstasy, and this made them weak and poor. The Wancho warriors are well known for their rituals. There are 3 main rituals that they perform. Headhunting, as mentioned earlier, they would go in battles with their enemies and return carrying their heads as a sign of victory. and then they'd store their heads like trophies on shelves inside their houses. Headhunting was banned by the government when the British colonizers arrived in India, so now this practice is not legal anymore and has stopped completely. Due to their belief in animism, the Wanchos have a strong connection with animals. Other than hunting the animals for survival, they use the animals' blood and carcasses for good luck and to keep the evil spirits away. For every small ritual they have performed, almost always the sacrifice of an animal was needed for different reasons, and almost every member of the Wancho village are tattooed. The tattoos represent social status for women and bravery for men. Additionally, only the queens of each Wancho village were allowed to tattoo the other members. If a man did it, it meant bad luck, despite their social standing. Wancho women will get their first tattoo at the age 10 and the second one when they hit puberty, the third when they get married, and the fourth when they get pregnant or have given birth. Wancho men get their first tattoo at the age of 18, and then they get tattoos on their faces depending on how many heads they hunt or on their bodies for how many animals they have killed. One of the festivals that is of utmost importance for the tribe is the Oriya festival. Since headhunting was banned, cultivation became one of the main occupations of the people within this tribe. This festival indicates the celebration of cultivation. The festival is celebrated in different villages on different dates over a time span of 5 days, and the main day of this festival is known as Bunu. Traditional songs and dances are performed by the locals wearing traditional attires and accessories. The traditional attire consisted of the kiahit, nefa coat, and nyapong for men, all decorated in bright colors. The women adorned nyapongs and nyakeks, as well as tu that they reserved for such celebrations. Every man would wear kopat or kohum as they celebrated. The tusks, bones, and feathers adorning their caps signified the tigers, boars, and birds they hunted. They represented strength and were believed to enhance their beauty. Women would adorn themselves heavily with beaded necklaces known as lik and nyanlik. They also wore headbands called likkasan during the Oriya as a symbol of wealth and social standing. The more they wore, the more significant their status in the community. Lik was also worn during the event of a child being born as a way to show respect. Only women were allowed into the home of the conceiving mother while men were sent away. This was believed to ensure the baby would have no bad luck and could reserve the homely love of the mother. The kitchen of the households were segregated into 2 parts. The women handled the main chores of the household, and therefore a main kitchen known as Fang Niu is assigned to them where the main food is prepared. However, a smaller kitchen known as Tapsa is meant for the menfolk of the family and is where extra food might be prepared. 63 species of animals were hunted for their medicinal purposes and their meat, as it provided them with all the nutrition required by the people. In addition to that, the Wancho tribe used to drink the local beer, which was made from rice, millet, tapioca, aram, banana, and other such materials. However, after the advent of Christianity, they shifted to an eco-friendly way of eating, which consisted of foods such as rice, millet, and tea as a beverage. We see the material of the tribe evolve as their non-material beliefs and nature are influenced by the British and Christianity. Rituals such as headhunting and animal sacrifice, denoting their belief in animism and prior violent nature, have changed to cultivation and peace between once enemy tribes. Their colorful culture is kept alive within their own house weavings and show their strong sense of community. Their patriarchal beliefs show through in the segregation of housing and gender roles that they hold on to. Overall, these domains interact with each other and comprise this rich indigenous community of Wancho.